My name is Shanee Moret, and I have almost 1 million followers on LinkedIn. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I engage with other people's posts on LinkedIn so that I can get more people onto my profile, so that I can get more people to join my private email list, and so I can get more clients. Let's start. The reason why this video is so powerful is because when people come to me and they say, "Hey Shanee, I'm a business owner and I started posting on LinkedIn recently and I'm not getting the engagement or the interest that I want to get," one of my first questions back to them is, how often are you engaging with other people? And so I want you to think of the golden rule applied to engagement. If you want more engagement, you must give more engagement. It's a pretty simple formula. So if you are just posting and ghosting, which is creating content and leaving it there for the world to see, but not really getting people to reciprocate engagement, especially if you're in the beginning of your content journey, you are going to probably have a harder ramp up and a slower ramp up compared to somebody that actually gets their boots on the ground, takes the time to engage with others, builds relationships, gives to others by supporting their posts, and then receives that reciprocation back by other people supporting their content. And you may say to me, "Well, Shanee, that doesn't mean that those are my prospects. What does that have to do with actually getting clients?" And it has a lot to do with it. Because if I engage with a lot of quality creators who are getting in front of tens or hundreds of thousands or millions of eyeballs, and I engage on their posts and they reply back to my comment or they reciprocate and support my post, what that does is that exposes my content to a percentage of their first, second, and third degree connections that I otherwise wouldn't have had exposure to. So the more quality professionals and creators that you get to engage on your content on LinkedIn, the more quality people you will get in front of. And we all know that we just need more people to know that you exist, to like you, and to trust you to accelerate your business. And LinkedIn is a phenomenal tool to do so, starting with engaging on other people's posts. In this video, I'm going to show you how I comment on a few posts. We'll go for the first 3 to 5, and then we'll see what we learn along the way. So let's start. Let's go through the first 3 to 5 posts that I see as I scroll, and let's learn the lessons along the way. And I appreciate you in advance for subscribing. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you didn't get the point, that's your hint to subscribe. So let's start. So I'm going to refresh my feed and let's take a look at the first 10 posts that pop up. And then we're going to comment on each and every single one and learn some lessons along the way. So this is post number 1. The most important question on a Monday morning. You walk into a restaurant. Before sitting, you walk over to use the restroom. It looks like a horror scene. Are you still eating there? No. Well, it really depends. I'm going to vote no, but I'm going to say it depends. The only scenario that it would be a yes is if it's a long road trip, you haven't eaten in 12 hours, and you're just utterly exhausted and you need to get back on the road. And when you reply to a comment on LinkedIn, this should be the kind of vibe that you want to portray in your comments. You don't want to be robotic. You just want to express whatever it is that you initially feel, and of course filter that a little bit, but you want to be yourself. And that's what's going to get attention. So I'm going to look at the other 2 comments, which is he basically has one comment from this gentleman and then he replied, which is great. What I learned from this is that he's the type of creator that replies to comments, which makes me feel like he could reply to mine, which is very important for you to reply to other people's comments, which I'll do a video on in the future in and of itself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click add a comment and I'm going to say, in most cases, it would be a no, but if it were in the middle of a road trip after many hours of driving and just needing to get a snack before hopping back on the road, then maybe yes. In other news, there should be a website rating bathrooms at restaurants. Does this exist? So what I'm doing is I'm expressing what I really think, and then I'm asking a question. By asking a question in a comment that really has everything to do with this post, I am increasing the likelihood that I'm going to get a reply from the original poster, the creator. Post number 2. The cat's out of the bag. These perfectly cheesy nacho pop chips are Garfield's favorite cat snack and potato chip. Catch the Garfield movie in theaters and Milk Money's incredible hand-painted mural in LA this month. So I'm just going to put, where can I buy these? This is awesome. Where can I buy some? Now, when you comment on other people's posts, you also want to just see who else is commenting. If I go back up here, Chief Humor Instigator, IamHOA.com, that sounds pretty funny. And then I maybe could connect with him, maybe not, whatever. Now let's pretend I did want to connect with David. I could click his profile and then I could click follow. I could even then click connect and add a note and say, hey, David, thought your comment on Rob's post was pretty funny. Let's connect, send. That's post number 2. This is number 3. Had a great conversation with Hannah Power about how to come to terms with imposter complex. Hope you find my take on this helpful. So let's listen.
There's a simple question that anybody can use at any point in time when they're really in it, as I say, like in the middle of this imposter complex. And that is simply to ask yourself, is it true? Your brain's going to want to say, yes, this is true. You're a total fraud. But is it 100% true? The reality is, like fear, it's not going to be able to prove a single fact.
Is it true? Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I had such a great time talking to you and learning from you. Would love to have you on again. In reality, that question seems like it wouldn't help me in that situation. So I think what I've asked myself is, what evidence do I have that I can do this? And maybe stack the mini wins. One thing to note here is, because I'm saying something a little bit different, I want to support them. So you never just want to add different context in somebody's comments without supporting and giving really highlight and kudos to the creator. So here I could say, where can we listen to the full podcast? This is great. So by asking that question, what I'm doing is adding value to them. So that's post number 3. And then scrolling down, can I tell you a story? I never wanted to be a creator. I thought it was silly. So here I want to ask Morgan a question. What type of content do you enjoy creating most? Also, he gets a lot of comments. So here he has 65 comments, and I want to look at, okay, founder and CEO. I serve founders and CEOs. So I may want to connect with him the way I did with David, or maybe just like his comments. You don't want to spam and like every single one of someone's comments, but I'd say keep it to 2 or 3 if there's like 100 comments, and 1 for every 25, because then the creator will know that you're spamming, and it also gets annoying. People get notified a lot. You want to just like it very sparingly. Simon Sinek, leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. Join my master's training to learn how to become the leader you wish you had and meet other like-minded students in leadership. So because Simon Sinek is not likely to reply directly to a comment of mine, and because my audience is not really his audience, what I'm going to do is look for someone whose comment catches my attention and who I'd rather connect with instead. So for example, here I think I'd like to connect with Cindy, because she empowers purpose-driven startups. And startup founders are our audience, part of our audience, and they want to grow their personal brand. So here, I'd rather reply to her comment and then connect with her and get access to her network, just because her network is more aligned with my prospects. So balancing an empathetic approach with self-care is essential to prevent burnout and sustain long-term effectiveness. This is so important, and not enough people talk about it or show others how to balance the approach. Let's connect. And I could just ask her openly. If she doesn't want to, then it is what it is. I hope that you found this valuable. If you want more engagement on LinkedIn, just remember that you have to give what you want more of. So make sure that you prioritize, even if that means putting it on your calendar 10 to 15 minutes a day. Make sure that you put it on your calendar and engage with other people on LinkedIn. It's the golden rule, and it's the most powerful one of all. But your advantage is that 99% of people don't want to do this. They just want to automate it. So I literally just stopped the recording on the other video, and this is actually a part 2, which I'm recording right now because I'm already getting responses from the comments that I created, and I want to show you. And again, this is the power of LinkedIn, and there's a lot of myths associated with LinkedIn, like people aren't active, this and that. It's been less than 10 minutes, and people are already replying to comments, connecting with me, liking my comments, so on and so forth. So go to notifications. And again, this was 3 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, okay, 4 minutes ago, 11 minutes ago. So the first reaction was 11 minutes ago. Someone named Linda Perry liked my comments. She loved it. And this was the one that I put on the podcast. Going back here. So remember, we commented for the chips and he liked my comment. The creator, this is awesome. Where can I buy some? Go up. Shanee, Moret, it will soon, my friends. So remember that in most cases it would be a no, and this is about the bathrooms, using the restroom. He said, it will soon, my friend, LOL. Now, Rob's business is extremely successful, and this is someone who we had to reschedule a podcast once, but this is now the opportune time for me to reach out and get that podcast scheduled, or just say thank you, who can I introduce you to, whatever. Going back to the messages, David has already connected with me. He accepted my connection request, as you can see here. Now we are first degree connections, so he accepted that request. And that's it for now. But it just goes to show you that the myth of, oh, people are not active on LinkedIn. Well, they're pretty active. You got a lot of comments and replies and responses in 10 minutes, but that's only because I actually create content on LinkedIn and am omnipresent. This also touches into the secondary or intangible or indirect value of personal brand, is that even for the people that don't always comment on your stuff, like your stuff, if they actually just know that you're a real person, that you exist, that you're consistent, that you're a person of character, they've seen you grow before their very eyes, they're much more willing to reply. This is also the power of video, live video, so on and so forth on LinkedIn, and just staying present and building your personal brand. And if that's something that you're interested in, go to yougrow.club, yougrow.club, and register for the free 4-day LinkedIn challenge. On the first day, we cover LinkedIn strategy. On the second day, LinkedIn content. On the third day, LinkedIn newsletters. And on the fourth day, LinkedIn live video events. But the power of this is that when you grow your personal brand on LinkedIn, people reply to you and connect with you like this, especially when you engage with them. God bless you. Ciao.